Guys, it's me, Lil Ninja, back with another video, and today we're doing what if Deku had the world, and not actually like the world inside of his pants. I mean a stand from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and I'm sorry, if you heard a noise, that was me, and yeah. So before we start that, we got a few shout outs. Also, before I do the shout outs, I gotta say, keep subscribing. We're almost at 300 subscribers, and I hope, wait a minute. I hope that we can get to 300 subscribers before the end of the month. Well, not really before the end of the month. Maybe by, let's try before the end of February and see if we can get there before the end of February. And if you subscribe, that would be helping me, a lot. And these are the two shout-outs that I will be doing today that I couldn't have done Friday because I was lazy. So, yeah. With my new time schedule, having three new what-ifs uploading instead of my casual old, basically only 4 videos coming out a week. It's going to be about 7, actually no, it's going to be about 6 videos coming out about a week, meaning I will make a video on Saturday as well, or maybe I'll make the video on Friday and upload it Saturday. And without further ado, I would like to get into the video, and let's get to that 300 subscribers. See you in the video. It's Little Ninja time. Hey guys, wait, no. Okay, so we'll start off, not where we normally will start off, about the start of the anime instead of starting about a few months or a few years actually before the anime. We start when Izuku is just getting out of school. And he would just think about his day. Thinking about all the things that Bakugo said, calling him Deku. Izuku did not want to be a Deku anymore. He was tired of it. Instead of going the normal route that he would go to, he would actually go take a different route. Where Izuku would find 2 arrows. And I know what you're thinking. No, he's not getting 2 stands. Just to clarify, one of those arrows are a Requiem arrow. Izuku would instantly know what to do with these. He's heard of these from books before. A long time ago, these were powers. And soon, bodies evolved to make quirks that would basically would try and be above and beyond what he knows as stands. Originally, stands were to die out, not being able to be, used anymore. There are only about 10 more arrows in the whole entire universe. These are the only 2 arrows known to man on planet Earth. Zuko would grab the arrows. He would stab the first one into himself. And his stand that he created would call out with his hair turning, with the highlights on his hair turning yellow, with the world calling out. And the world finally says his first words, "The world!" And basically, the world remarks that he was sealed inside of an arrow. Guess Dio wanted me to be used by someone. You must be a descendant of Dio, or else this stand arrow would have killed you. And yeah, Izuku, the reason why he didn't have a quirk for this what if is because he was a descendant of Dio. You see, the thing I'm going for here is that Dio's race, which is the vampire race, could because they're vampires and they couldn't evolve to human standards, they did not gain quirks, and also they cancel out any quirks, basically. And yes, they do have the eyes of Aizawa where they can actually cancel out any quirks. So Izuku will get that power. And no, since he is half vampire, he will not be basically, he's technically not even half. He's only like I say, about 20% vampire. The rest is human, fully human. And because of this, he is not affected by the sun at all. Not affected by the sun. Izuku would grab the other arrow, and he would look at the gem in the middle, thinking that this is the Requiem arrow, the thing that can power up a stand even more. He would stab himself with the Requiem arrow, and the world would turn white, with the black being yellow highlights now. The world would call out his new world, the world over heaven. And Izuku would put his stand away, thinking that he can train with this for the rest of the months. And that is exactly what he does. With his first time stop, he's able to basically he's able to use time stop for about 5 seconds. And that will be it. Also, I'm going to say that a new power that the world has is the world can summon inanimate objects. You know how he used to do the knives, but now he can summon more things instead of just knives. He can summon basically the stop sign that he used that one time, and the roda. But there's going to be a limit to how many things he can summon. It doesn't matter how big, it just matters that he can only summon 10 things at a time. And those are the world's 2 new powers. And yeah. Izuku would basically be baffled at this, thinking that he will be stronger and basically be the best that there ever was. The stand arrows, knowing his heritage and the stand arrows would give him more confidence, making him basically not act necessarily like Bakugo, just act with way more confident than the canon Deku of right now. Way more confident. He would not only want to train his stand, but will also want to train his body, not trying to be weak in front of his stand. Meaning he won't always resort to using his stand, especially with his heritage. And yeah. Also, no, Izuku will not be turning evil. He will not be doing that. Izuku is a hero. He's a good boy. He's a very powerful good boy. Yeah. He will get basically super strength by default because of him being a vampire. And not really a transformation. I'll say he can fly too. Those are the only things he's getting from being a vampire. Because he's only 20%. What do you think he's going to do? Become a whole bat or something? No. I'm pretty sure they can't do that in JoJo anyway. I don't remember. Well, Izuku would basically train for all those months and would get his time stopped to about 5 minutes instead of only 5 seconds. Izuku would run into UA and would actually get the top spot on the written test, not worrying about Ida or Uraraka. He wouldn't initially go up to Uraraka because he would actually think that this girl is trying to focus, so I just leave her alone. Izuku would get his stand ready, trying to look his best, with him striking a JoJo pose. Yes, there would be some elements of JoJo in this. This is what if Izuku had the world, so. Izuku would, as the gates open, Izuku would jump through the gates, and instantly all of them would see his stand. And I know what you're saying. People that aren't stand users aren't supposed to be able to see a stand. Well, what I'm going to say to that is, this is a bunch of years later. People have evolved to see stands. And some people would actually call out that that's a stand, and they would tell other people what a stand is somewhat. And they would tell them that stands have died out ever since corks have arrived. So they don't know, some people don't know what the stand is, and some people do. Izuku would actually stop time for 5 minutes. Actually, no, he wouldn't stop time at all. Actually, yeah, we'll say they could find him They're not moving in stop time. They would just see him near a robot, and then time would begin again. The robot would be basically pummeled. They would think that he has a speed power with his stand, but really he has stop time. And nobody recognizes the world because that's classified information, very, very classified information. And nobody knows of his heritage either because he hasn't used his super strength. Bakugo would be very, 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 very mad at this, thinking that Izuku left out on him. Like, Bakugo, chill. Like, dang. Bakugo would charge after Izuku, but then would think he could get kicked out of the school for this. So he would just pay Izuku no mind, trying to ignore Izuku the best that he could. Izuku would keep pummeling every robot and would actually stopping time, seeing as all these robots are very, very easy to take down. He would have about 500 points. Some of them, like, he has more than 500 points. Well, he would have more than 500 points if they could actually count some of them. But because of how many times that he's defeated the robots, he gets 500 points. Like, nobody will come close to 500 points. After that, basically, he just stops, thinking that he should let other people get some robots as well. He would see a few minutes later, he would see the zero pointer and the girl under the rubble. Izuku would instantly tell the world to stop time, and then would save the girl and would start time again. Would place her on a building and would stop time and start using a bunch of Rodadas on the zero pointer, basically making it almost freaking destroyed, not having it being able. Basically, it's pummeled into the ground like rubble, just collateral damage, nothing there. The bell would ring. Izuku would walk out, and Orako would ask his name. Izuku would say, Izuku, just Izuku. And then everyone would be surprised, thinking that he's so stuck up that he couldn't even give his last name. Izuku would use a stand and would have it grab his head so that he could fly away. I know what he's saying, but this is a Requiem stand. I'm assuming that Requiem stands are way stronger, so I'm just going to assume that he can fly. I give him the power to fly, basically. Izuku would wait for about 2 weeks for his acceptance letter in the mail. He would get it, and this would be in there. And All Might would say that he got the top score. Nobody came close. No one. Not even Bakugo. Not even Todoroki. Wait a minute. Todoroki wasn't in the practical exams. I just remembered that. So, yeah. Izuku would not really be that surprised. He was actually counting all the numbers in his head, and he just remarked that they got the number wrong. It was actually 1,000 robots that I destroyed. No wonder nobody even came close. They didn't have enough robots. Like, he just remarked that this is the best school in Japan, and they didn't even account for him. He's just thinking that's being stuck up. He's getting a little bit more like Dio. But I still say he's going to be a hero because he hasn't changed too far yet. And he's not going to change. He will be hero. Izuku would get into UA and would sit down. Aizawa would look at him and then go back to sleep, thinking that's the kid that took out of 500 robots. And Izuku would say out loud, no, it was 1,000 robots. And Aizawa would instantly be surprised, thinking 1,000 robots? Wait a minute, can he read minds? And Izuku would say, no, I can't read minds. I'm just a pretty good guesser. Aizawa would be even more surprised. Everyone just thinking this guy took out 1,000 robots. 1,000 robots. Like, dang. And Izuku would basically just doze off with Aizawa. Izuku would wake back up after Aizawa is finished talking, and Aizawa would tell him where they need to go for testing site E. Izuku would bolt straight there, get to testing site E, and would start basically stretching. And everyone would be surprised that Izuku is just there stretching, not even caring what they're doing. He's just stretching. Izuku would summon his stand and hit a JoJo pose again, and would say, "This is a great stand." Izuku would get past the ball with Aizawa saying that he got first, and everyone wouldn't really be surprised since he already said that he got 1,000 robots, so nobody would be surprised. The world would grab the ball and would stop time first, and then would chuck it, basically getting it into space. As soon as time would start, the timer would instantly hit infinity. Oh wait, no, I got a better scenario for that. Restart. So basically, the world stops time. As the ball is about to hit the ground, the world starts barraging the ball, hitting it so many times with enough built-up energy to get it across the whole entire galaxy. And that's exactly what it does, because as soon as time starts again, the ball scouter says infinite, and basically the ball scouter would basically blow up, not being able to comprehend that it's even more infinite than infinite. Izuku would say, "I could do better, but I won't." And Aizawa would just be surprised, thinking he wouldn't need his second scouter and the second ball. And then that test would go basically according to canon, except Izuku is in first instead of being in last like in canon. So, no, I'm not kicking Mineta out. Actually, Mineta would come up to Aizawa and ask him to not kick him out. Aizawa would say, "I'm not kicking you out. I see too much potential in y'all. If y'all didn't have potential, y'all would have been out of here." And Momo would have been surprised because she thought that he was just bluffing. And no, he was not bluffing at all. Yeah. Mineta would talk to Midoriya. Midoriya would befriend Mineta and would actually start training him on how to use his quirk way better. Yes, I'm buffing up Mineta. And I will continue to buff up Mineta. Because you can't tell me what to do with my what-ifs. Mineta is a good character. Now, if you think of somebody like that is basically Mineta, but on steroids, you would dislike Mineta instead of the Mineta on steroids. Like somebody like Meliodas. You like Meliodas, but you don't like Mineta. You only don't like him because he's weak. And he's basically shorter than Meliodas. But still. Not to mention, we got another one, Sanji, a very powerful dude that's way tall, but also is basically Mineta. Just taller and more powerful. But again, if I told you to choose, you would say Sanji. Mineta is just such a relatable character. So don't try to make him seem like he's dog water. I'm taking like 2 minutes talking about this. So let's just get back into the video. Izuku would go home and would start training, actually being able to stop time for an hour, making him have an hour's worth of training in 1 second. Dang, he's too OP. Why did I make him this OP? I don't know why, and I don't care why. Because he's this OP, and I'm okay with that. A few weeks later, Izuku would get to school and would actually, All Might would burst through the doors and tell them to get their hero costumes on. Izuku's hero costume would just be a green jacket that looks like Dio's jacket. So yeah. With some heals on his belt. With some meds on his belt so that way he can heal citizens or himself if need be. But he hardly thinks that he will ever have to use the heals. So yeah. Izuku would rush at... Izuku, when they get to the testing site, would rush and basically get there first and would start sleeping until people would wake him up, telling him to choose a ball number. He would get the same one in canon with Uraraka. So yeah. Izuku would basically tell Uraraka a plan. Izuku would carry them both to the top of the roof. Izuku would use Roda, and Izuku would burst through the window while Uraraka would sneak in and touch the bomb. With that, Uraraka would basically accept the plan. Izuku would carry out the plan with Uraraka following the plan flawlessly, and they would get a win, and both of them would get NBA basically. And that is where I'm going to leave it off, because I don't want to do a longer video as this. So I will leave it off here, and you guys can like the video and subscribe and do the things you need to do so I can get to 300 subscribers before February ends. And I feel like that's long enough time for you guys to subscribe. So subscribe. Please. Subscribe. Ninja says bye.